Good morning, peoples. Back at you with Ybit and Bitto. A couple of updates, 2 days worth of it. These are the only two that I didn't update yesterday, Ybit and AMZ. So I'm doing 2 days worth of data. So 2 days ago, we were down 4.02 in Bitto and 1.89 in Ybit. So yesterday it bounced a little in Bitto and we were down 1.08. So pretty even there. So we did get some new trades put on. Whoops. This is 3, 6, 5, 2, 4. 6, 1. Okay, everything else has been updated. So you can see that cash flowed in. No trades were put on Tuesday, even though 25,000 shares were added. Then we jumped up 275,000 shares. And let's see, I did put that in 7.8 on that guy. Actually, it's a little bit lower than that. I should have had this number, 3575. Okay, 7.69. All right, let's go back to July. So they put a synthetic on and they put an equal number of um, naked calls, right? So they put on 1,880 additional. So they used that cash coming in with the 275 and the 25 or 50,000 on the day before to put on a synthetic all the way out to our 35. So we gain good money, but we have that liability. So what does that look like? Well, it looks like 75,200 were added. So that lowered our positive number. So we're reducing that number. We want to get back to a negative number, but we got killed on this situation. Remember going back where it just blew by when Bitcoin was running? We had sold something for 302 and 515, and we spent 2.5 million, 3 times what we collected to buy it back. So that was ugly. Plus here, 6 or 7 times, just really, really ugly. So we're still recovering from that. But the good news with the $10 separation, well, it's more than that, it's around $12. So let's go take a look at the synthetic. So here we are with the 15. Here we are down at, call it 23. We had been up close to 24, and we're riding out at 35. So now we had all this big gain in June doing this, and now we're starting to get a big gain here. It jumped from 8 to 11. And if you add those two together, you get all this calls that have been written up here. This is not updated. This is really 12. I can do that pretty quickly because I do it over in holding. Like I said, I should just refer to it so I don't have to duplicate it. And this is like 0.005. It's almost worthless because so far away, and it expires 8/2. So this 30.6 is what our paper loss that is a real loss when we have to roll it, which we will next week. They could even do it on Friday. What's 8/2 next Thursday? No, it's Friday. Okay, yeah, they always expire on a Friday. So they may wait till we get there. They could do this on Friday. Um, but it'll be ugly, right? They have enough money to do it, but what they'll do is turn around and write another one, maybe a 34 or something like that, because they want to get that money back so they can keep going. At some point, they got to catch up. All right, so the weekly looks like this now. Whoops. I did not add the 1880 on the weeklies. That's also a 2450. And we'll drag this down, make it 82. And this is all set up to work when I drag it down because it's the same. Okay, and this one should reflect the weekly color. I try and separate these so you can see when they've done something like that. So we're at 23, right? 4 cents away. So we look pretty good. I mean, anything can happen in BTC, and hence BITO are underneath. Um, but that's where we stand. We've got a little more room in this guy at almost 7%, but that's 2 trading days, right? Um, so that's our situation. Let's take a look at our holdings for everything. So we're showing that we're undervalued by 10 cents. I did double check these. 3850-63762-160. So there's not a mistake there. That is our closing price. And this is the fair value price. This is the share count. What I did was I gapped a day, right? By doing 2 days, I didn't come in and plug the numbers. So I made these what they really are, 24 and 22. But no big deal there. But this shows you that, it's somewhere in the middle in the interim, I think. But all of a sudden, we're getting this back up to where we were a few days ago. So that has grown. But we put a lot more cash in our pocket. So let's go take a look at that. Again, I see no issue with us being paid. It's just you don't want to see NAV reduction. And right now we're not seeing it. We sort of stabilized, but I'd like to see it make it up. And the only way to do that is get this thing running in its synthetic and get BITO going. And since BITO has that huge payout, it also stays low because it can't keep up, right? Because it pays a real good yield also. I think you guys saw that on my weekly, right? Where did I have that? Did I have it on holdings? Yeah, I had it. There we go. I showed this last time in case anybody missed this. Look at this. They went, and when it was being assessed to launch their fund, it had a 5-month payout of 84 cents. So it was non existent as far as it dropping in value and them having to massively adjust when they're writing it. Like, for instance, it will declare usually on the first of the month. So I didn't look it up, but it almost always is the 31st of the first of the month. So next week they're going to be declaring. So when they write a 24 for next week, it pretty much is right around the ex-dividend date. So when they wrote 2450, it's not as close as you think it is, uh, because that assumes that BITO is going to pay $1 something. Again, when do they switch back? Who knows? What really enabled them? The run up doesn't exactly match it. I mean, they paid more the previous 5. I just happened to pick 5 months. There's nothing magical, guys. And there are 3 months left over, right? I mean, I have the data here somewhere. It's right here. Here's the full 18 months, if you will. 15 cents, 10 cents, 46 cents. Yeah, we're in the 40s for a while. And then it jumped up to 60. And it got to 38, 1, 7, 14, 13, 15. And then here's where they started really moving again. 73, 114, 168, 177, 150. So based on Bitcoin moving up recently, I suspect they'll be in the 150 neighborhood. I don't know exactly what causes this other than maybe Bitcoin, but I think Bitcoin by this period of time was moving up. I mean, these are higher. I'd have to try and go do the correlation there. They do some swaps and they go long various months. So sometimes there's backwardization in the futures, and sometimes, most of the time, there isn't. But they do a swap in there a little bit too. And then they use treasuries as well sometimes. Not as voluminous as the Yieldmaxes do, but they do use them. Okay, so that's kind of that situation. So I'm expecting. So what did we do? Look at this. This jumped from 8 something to 11. This went up 75,000. So we're looking, this was like, in the ones, 179 or something. So we're up to $2.30 in total monies, right? Because this is still a loss. And we got 2 more paydays. They look pretty good on the weeklies. I mean, anything can happen in 2 days in Bitcoin. But, we're now up close to 31. We've been in that 28 to 30 range. So when you look back here, you can see there's $15, $14, $14.50, because they've only been paying $1 because they know they have that big loss. But I don't see any issue with them not paying the same yield here. And right now I'm showing it's somewhere between $1.11, which would constitute almost 81. They've been in that 80, 81, 82% range when you go back and do the math. So I think it's $1.11. It could be $1.12. Again, that's all based on the current price, right? The price moves up, then they got to pay a little more to get that yield. The price moves down, they don't have to pay as much. So that's what I got right now. I don't see them having a problem in not having the cash. If they roll that this Friday instead of, on 8 on 725. They could roll it on 726 a week early, but then they need to put it out 34, 33 so they can get a lot of money by selling their calls and make cash on that. So they just keep it going until they can finally catch up through just Bitcoin growth. Okay, guys, that's what I got for you. The yield is good. Don't see a problem with that, but I want to stop the NAV reduction. We shall see. Okay, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. It's for fun and entertainment only. Okay, guys, have a good one. Bye for now.